What's up, my brothers? Today on the Rising Kings pod, it's a pretty special episode. And the reason for that is today's my birthday. 46 years old, born in 1978. Now, the reason why I say this is special, it's not just because it's my birthday, although, that's pretty exciting. I've learnt over the years to enjoy the celebration that comes with it, which is part of what today's episode is really about. I want to share with you the 5 biggest lessons, insights that I've taken on board over the past decade to put me in this position that I'm in today. The position of very connected and loving with my beautiful chosen one, my wife, hyper present, having fun and showing up as a mentor in a fatherhood role. My health, man, like operating at 46 with a 6-pack all year round, not just when the sun's out. And, having a business, like growing and leading this business, Rising Kings, to creating it where it is today and taking it to its next evolution consistently over and over again. And so I want to share these 5 principles with you because I wish I had this 10 years ago. I wish I had this level of information. Not just that, but I wish it was coming from someone who operated similar to myself. Now, let me just share something really quick for you. Birthdays for me have never been a great thing. Now, I'm sure there's men out there that are listening right now that might really relate to what I'm about to share. Dude, if you went back 10 years ago and it was my birthday and people were like, hey man, happy birthday, how awesome, hope you're celebrating it, etc. I was not in that headspace. For me, it was like, just get on with it, Ben. Like, what are we celebrating here? It's quite sad to think about. It's quite emotional this morning going through my journaling on this because just how much of a shift has occurred in my world over the past 10 years, even over the past 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, but especially over the last 10, because where I was 10 years ago when it came to the realm of celebrating a birthday was non-existent. And I look back and I'm like, what was the deal then? And the type of tone or the conversation that was going on in my head back then was like, what are we celebrating here? Wow, I stayed alive for another year. I went around the sun for another year. Yeah, that's great, man. Let's celebrate. It was never allowing it to come in, to allow others to celebrate my life, who I am, how I've impacted them, because I couldn't see that. And so the birthday just became another day. It's like, I just got to get on with it. And here's the sad part of it. I never allowed anyone into my world on those special days. I was so checked out. So much so that I can remember a birthday, and Chosen One will, I'm sure she'll be fine with me sharing this. I was around 32. I'm 46 today. I think this was on my 32nd birthday. That day, man, like I got up and I remember Chosen One wanting to celebrate my birthday. And I wasn't in the mood. Yeah, whatever. And Chosen One's like, what should we do for lunch today? Let's do this for breakfast. Let's do the birthday presents, etc. And I was like, yep, sure, no problem. I just got to get on with it, darling. And she was like, I want you to celebrate this, I want you to say, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, like, let's celebrate whatever. Like, in my head, I'm like, I got so much to do, man. Like, I got to get things done. I don't like the attention. It feels awkward. It feels uncomfortable. And what happened was it actually turned into an argument because Chosen One is trying to celebrate, to give love, and I'm just not accepting it. It's like the friend who shows up your front door with a beautiful package. They've thought about your birthday. They're like, they want to celebrate. They're looking forward to you showing expression of excitement and love and gratitude and all these things. And as they come to the front door with this present that they've spent all this time, effort, energy on to like give to you and looking forward to it, then all of a sudden, they're like, hey man, happy birthday, da, da, da. And you're just like, I don't want that. I'm good. And it hurts. It hurts. And I think you know it when we do this to others. And so I want to share that, just pre-frame that story, because today is very different. Today I relished in it. Today I am relishing in it. The beautiful dancing this morning with playing Stevie Wonder's Happy Birthday song in the kitchen as I got out of the cold pool and had my cold plunge, etc., and came inside, and a little bit of a dance. I'm not very good on the dance floor, but I gave it a crack. Hanging out with the kids, they made beautiful handwritten cards and drawings. And it was just like, yeah, like it's not just about me here. Yes, we're celebrating my life, but it's not just about me. It's a bigger play than that. We are celebrating life. We are celebrating love. We are celebrating connection. And so I wanted to just pre-frame that my life hasn't always been this level of excitement, fun, joy, and connection. Those who've been following me for years know that. But I want to share that with you today, depending on where you're at. I trust that this serves. And so the first principle I want to share with you is this notion of consistency over intensity. And there's one of those things I always remind myself on my birthdays, like, what if I would have started this thing a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago? What if I would have started working on myself 10 years earlier? Where would I be right now? What if I would have started chasing my dreams 5 years ago? What if I would have, invested more time into my fitness, health, etc. 5 years ago and just consistently showed up? Now, thankfully, I learned this principle quite a while back, and I've just been very, very consistent over the years. Those that know me know I'm a pretty consistent guy. It's one of those things that I invest in. I'm consistency over intensity. Intensity comes into play, don't get me wrong. There are times where you got to get on the sprint, you got to get on the push, and the intensity like pushes you up. But I don't go into intensity, nothing, and just go on this yo-yo ride where the outcome actually ends up being negative or net zero. I'm really big on consistency, especially around things like health, like just showing up every day, man. Some days are going to be solid. Some days they're not. And so it's being able to be consistent with your health, whether that's in nutrition, whether that's in the way you train, whether that's in the way that you stretch and show up every day. At 46, stretching has to be a consistent thing in my world right now. In my 20s and 30s, I'd bounce back. Whereas now I realize, like, if I don't stretch that day, the day before, like the next day, man, I'm pretty sore. It takes a while for me to back up. I'm talking about consistency also in your marriage. Just showing up. It's not about, hey, I do like the 2 big holidays with my family and I give my wife a bunch of flowers once a quarter and like what else is there? I've played that game. It's deeper than that. It's a little bit every single day. It's the deposit, the daily deposit of love, of gratitude every single day into marriage. It's fatherhood as well. Consistently showing up as the great father, the mentor, the loving man. Not the one who points out all the flaws when things are going wrong and loses his temper. I'm talking like the consistent guy who's grounded, loving, caring, showing up for his children, regardless of where they're at and what they're going through. And so consistency plays such a big part. And then you've got business, like you throw business into this. Like consistency is the thing that makes a business successful. We see so many businesses that rise really, really quickly through intensity, but then quickly peter out and crash. But even with Rising Kings, like it's about a game of consistency here. Just building, consistently showing up, consistently innovating, consistently bringing my best self, my best tools, my best experience to the forefront every single day for myself and the men inside the brotherhood. And so that's principle number 1, consistency over intensity. Can you do this for the long term? Are you willing to play the long-term game to get the results that you desire to get? The second principle I want to share with you guys today is gratitude. And having gratitude for what you have right now. Now, understand, you might be listening to this on your commute into work thinking, like, fuck you, man. You're not sitting on a train or on a bus with 500 people around you, sneezing, coughing, etc. You're not heading into a job that you hate, etc. I want to challenge you, man. I want to challenge you that you have a beautiful life. It may be uncomfortable right now. I'm not dismissing that. Yet there are parts in there that we need to look at in terms of gratitude. You're alive. You have access to this podcast right now through some digital device. You are able to learn and grow. You have your health. You most likely have a roof over your head, a bed to sleep on, a pillow, clean running water to drink from. Like, if it's got to start down at those basics, that's where it begins. I was reminded of this 2 years ago, literally 2 years ago. I think it was on the 14th of August when I found a lump on my left testicle. R.I.P. lefty, R.I.P. Testicular cancer. The slap from the universe. Brother, wake up. You think you're grateful, Ben. You think you're aware, Ben. You think you're connected, Ben. You think you're showing up as your best, Ben. But I beg to differ. And until that came, I wasn't operating at my joyous, happiest self. And I still am working towards it. However, I got complacent. I got comfortable. And it was a reminder, man. It was just like, this thing, death, is on our doorstep. And I'm not here to be morbid. I'm just here to remind you that every day, dude, it's a miracle. Not saying I wake up every day reminding myself, like, what a miracle, like, this is a miracle. How good is this? This is phenomenal. But it's a clear reminder to just give yourself that check occasionally to go, hang on, where are we at, man? Like, look at this. Look at what I can see right now, smell right now, taste right now. Look at the people I can connect with right now. And so it's this notion of having gratitude for what you have, not being frustrated and annoyed by what you don't have. Now, for those out there who've done some work in this realm before around the personal development, you'll recognize that, you know, as they say, the experts say, 80% of our thoughts are repeated every single day. 80%. We think of the same shit 80% of the time, every single day, which is absolutely mind-blowing, right? Now, the truth is, most of the time, are we thinking about the things we have and that we're grateful for, or is it 80%, probably 90% thinking about all the things we don't have, all the things that we want that we haven't got yet, that we're frustrated by, that we're annoyed by? Because this is where we've got to make the change. This is where we've got to make the shift. This is where we've got to look into gratitude for what we have and shifting that mindset. Now, it starts small. I'm not saying that you go out and you're like grandacious beauty in the gratitude of everything I have right now and wow, man, this is amazing. This has changed my life. Sometimes it's just digging in deep to just find the one or two or three little things that you can be grateful for, that you have in your life right now. Third principle is surrounding yourself with great, inspiring people. I've shared this many times before here on the podcast around being the lone wolf. And I think a lot of listeners, you listening right now, brother, may feel the same way. I'm a lone wolf, man. This is how I roll. This is how I've always rolled. I just count on myself. I can't count on others. I just get the job done. I'm a lone wolf. And I take pride in it. And I've been there. I've been that guy. It's easy. It's an easy game to play because I don't have to deal with anyone else as the lone wolf. Yet, over the years, I have learned that this game of life this experience of life is 10x, 50x, potentially 100 times more enjoyable doing it with others. And to add in here, when you're going through the challenging periods, the pain points, the pits of hell, the things that rattle us and pull us sideways where we just get in our own head, it's very important and very supportive to have inspiring people around you to help you through that. Not necessarily come to you with the answers, but to question you, to challenge you, to ask you specific questions to help you find the answers that you seek. And that's why I'm so passionate about having a brotherhood of men, a group of men that support one another, that inspire one another, that share with one another, that open up to one another. Because man, like we just have so much more fun, joy. We get pushed, doing adventures together. And I think one of the biggest things is you start to realize like you don't want to be the big fish in a small pond. You want to be the small fish in a big pond because that's where growth occurs. And so when you're seeing other men, other brothers doing amazing stuff, like some of the interviews I've conducted over here with brothers who have done things like ultras, 100K runs, guys who have, been through divorce and then brought their relationships back together, guys who have like come on the brink of loss of their business and being able to turn it around, doing Ironman triathlons, like things that a lot of us probably would go, man, that's just too hard, it's too crazy. Yet it can be done when you surround yourself with the right people. And I think it's one of those things that we just take for granted at how powerful it is when you have the right people in your network that you spend time with, connect with, communicate with, and talk about life and experience and growth and be challenged. And so that's principle number 3. Principle number 4 is, brother, it's time to play more. Playing. We've recently, thanks to one of the brothers, he brought up a really good challenge for us all, which was like, how does a man have fun? How does a man, 40 plus, mid-30s, whatever it is, kids, marriage, running a business, how do you have fun, man? Like, where's the fun? Like, how do you do it? Like, just give me the roadmap, give me the tools, give me the system. And it was one of the brothers, Brother Dino, who put it really succinctly for me, which was, fun is play. And then digging even deeper, it's like, well, what does that mean? It's like doing something without an expected outcome. Like you're doing it just for doing it. And I think back through my life and it's like, that's where I was having the most joy and excitement was when I was doing things for fun, when I was playing, whether that's mountain biking, surfing, skateboarding, bungee jumping out of an airplane, hiking, going on adventures with brothers, all these things that are done without an expectation. The only time I would lose interest in these things is when I put an expectation around it. And that's what happened with surfing many years ago. Like the surfing became like I had to get the best wave. I had to get barreled if it was barreling. I had to be the best surfer in the lineup. I had to get the most waves, all these different things. And then all of a sudden it's like, you're not even playing anymore, Ben. Like you've turned this play into a chore. And then I wonder why there's so much resistance to go and do it. And so it's looking at how do you get more play into your life? Because we live a high responsible life. And I'm talking to you, brother, listening to this right now. We're highly responsible. We put a lot of responsibility on our shoulders, whether that's in marriage, whether that's raising children, whether that's responsibility on ourselves for our own health and who we are and how we show up, or whether that's in business. It's just this endless, consuming list of responsibilities that if we're not careful, eat us alive until something happens, until we're forced to step out of that realm and look at it through a new lens. But instead of waiting for the crisis, instead of waiting for the slap from the universe to wake you up, it's like, here's an opportunity. Craft and create time and space to have play and be okay with it. Accept it and enjoy it. And I feel the more we do this, and this is just from myself, the more I do this, the more I invest time into fun and play, the more space I create for more of it. And so it started very, very small moments, like the odd bike ride, the odd surf, the odd little thing here and there that might go for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, etc., building it up to like an hour, and then like finding 2 hours a day to invest in this a couple of times a week, like really getting into it, but having play. Even to the point that play for me is sitting down and coloring in. Like just a bunch of pencils, a bunch of texters, one of those coloring in books, and just coloring in. If the kids want to join, awesome. We have great conversations. But it's just like no outcome, no expected return. I'm literally just practicing staying between the lines, putting down some colors and bringing a new light to my world. So it's number 4. Now I've saved number 5 to the end. As I say, they save the best till last. And it's this principle that I want to share with you now, brother. So I know you, man. You listening right now. You're like, well, me? Yeah, you, man. You. I'm with you right now because I want to share something with you. If there's one thing to take away from today's pod or from the pod in general, it is this. Know yourself and accept yourself. This one principle has been the game changer for me in my life. This is the gift. To do everything you possibly can to get to know yourself and learn to accept yourself, that over time you build on in order to love yourself. Now, when I say know yourself, this is the work, man. Because here's what I recognized in my own life. I was good at looking at everyone else and helping them solve their problems, whether that was chosen one, the kids, my friends, or the people around. Oh, you know, they need to do this. They should do this. They should do that. You should do this. Da 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 da. But I was never looking at myself. And then a decade ago, I started getting asked harder questions in the realm of personal development. Now, as an engineer, personal development, I never understood. 10 years on, this is the game, bro. This is where it's at. Personal development is layer 1. Layer 2 is self-knowledge. And so that's figuring out, like, what are your triggers, man? What is, like, back to what we were talking about earlier in this conversation, around 80% of your thoughts are the same every single day. What are they? Like, get clear on this. Gain clarity around it. Like, what am I thinking about all the time, over and over and over again? And why is that important? What am I triggered by? What am I angry by? Why am I frustrated right now? Why am I in such a rush? Why do I feel I need to get these things done in order to feel this certain way? It's going through this work over and over and over again. It's the infinite game of getting to know yourself. Not only getting to know, but as you go through this, is learning to accept yourself. And 10 years ago, that's when my journey started. It was a little over. It was probably 12, 13 years ago. And at 46, I can tell you today, I am still digging in. I am still learning new things about myself every day, every week, every month, every year. And I'm accepting of it. I'm okay with it. I'm working towards loving myself because I know the more love and acceptance I can have of myself, the more love and acceptance I can have for my fellow human beings. And if I can have unlimited, unconditional love and acceptance for everyone else in this world and every experience and everything else that occurs to me, dude, I am living the most beautiful life ever, because nothing would rattle me. I would be in bliss 24/7. Like, how amazing is that? And so that's deep down, that's what we desire. Like, we desire the peace. I mean, I just want to feel peaceful. I just want to feel fulfillment. I just want to feel happy. I just want to feel connected. I just want to feel calm, lack of responsibility, whatever it is, insert. What I've recognized is when you boil it all down, it really comes down to this notion of love and acceptance. And you hear all the sayings like, it's all love. It's all about love. I never really understood it until I ran my logical lens around it, which was what I'm sharing with you today, which is it is love. When you love yourself, you unconditionally love everything that happens around you. You're very accepting of it. And so it removes the friction, the pain, the struggle, almost the discomfort of it all, because we're accepting of it. We're grateful for it. We're learning from it. Now, I'm not saying you're ever going to get there. I'm not saying, I don't believe I'm ever going to get to that pinnacle. Maybe the day before I die, or, there's a couple of hours before where it's just like, all right, this is it. I'll take it all on now. But it's what I'm working towards. And that's what drives me. That's what lights me up, brother, is this incessant desire of self-knowledge, self-acceptance, self-love, over and over and over, repeated, through the physical, through the mental, through the emotional, through the professional, through the spiritual, all of these realms, digging in. And that, my brother, are my 5 principles for you, for me to repeat back to myself in order to evolve and grow and experience this one short life we live. And so I want to wrap on this. Today at 46, I've received a lot of love, and so thank you, all my brothers, all my sisters, all my friends, family, everyone that's shared and celebrated their love for me today. And, often the question is, I hope you're celebrating. I hope you're in a good place. I hope this, all these things. Now, in the past years, there'd be little triggers around it because I'd be frustrated that I wasn't where I wanted to be. I wasn't at the level I desired to be. Yet today, it's like, dude, I've never felt greater. Thank you. Thank you for celebrating this with me. This revolution around the sun together. Learning to accept who I am, where I'm going, what I'm doing, and having fun along the way. Relishing in that. And that's my desire for you, brother, wherever you are right now on your journey, as you head into the realm of life. I would love for you to find that inner peace, acceptance, and love for yourself so that you can have everything you desire to have. Whether that's in your marriage, whether that's in your business right now, whether that's showing up as the father you desire to be, whether that's in your health, whether that's more fun and play. And it's all there through these guiding principles, through your own journey, through your own experience. And brother, I honor you for tuning in, and thank you, because today is another day for me to be greater, for you to be greater. We get to share this journey together. So big love, and look forward to speaking to you next week on the Rising Kings pod. Stay strong.